we went through the process, and you've probably heard of it, Lean Six Sigma, lean processing. They're manufacturing terms that have been now they're being applied to not just the accounting industry, but engineering firms, architectural firms, a lot of different arenas. Just like anything else, we get buried in the details, and we don't step back and say, okay, let's see what this really looks like, what we're doing. What do we do? Oftentimes we encounter a problem and we stick something in there to solve that problem. But if we step back 2 years later, we have put 50 Band-Aids on a problem that probably could be solved with just one thing. That's what Lean did for us. We, in one of our offices, we took on the individual tax process, and we looked at the process. And I mentioned this morning, it looked like we put this flow chart up on the wall, and it looked like a giant anaconda, that it was just snaking along with all the different processes we had in there. But it helped us as a firm identify the critical path to get a tax return out the door. And we developed 2 acronyms out of this, and we gave everybody a little stress ball to kind of remember them. We came up, forgive me, Nike, just do it. But we didn't say that on the little ball. We put JDI. And then on the other side, we put GIOTD, which is the real important one. Get it out the door. A lot of times with tax work, what we found is our staff and even our partners tend to forget the most important thing is get it out the door, serve the client. And so that became our mantra this year. And so the effort was we improved the process. We did some of what you did. We pushed down responsibilities. We utilized interns for scan. We even had an intern who really showed a great aptitude for tax prep and moved her into that. We utilized staff in different areas for check and supervision. Just like what you said, our partners at times were like, what are we doing? Couple simple things we did. We developed quick checklist. Gary taught us the importance of laminating a document. I don't know if you've worked with Gary on something else, you've heard him say that. We laminated a document with just a simple little page of quick checks for a preparer to know that, if you want, there were pet peeves for partners. When you got something, you didn't check the estimates or things like that, simple things. But all of those quick checks reduced the review time. It also reduced the number of times a return was sent back for correction. And we also determined rules on that, when sending back for correction, and whether to send it back or whether just to fix it and give them a note. The other part of it was we use XCM to manage our workflow and observe that, and it integrated in with that. But we also used it for our review notes so that we had that reference point back and forth. For us, it ended up being a great benefit. It was a 10% reduction in the time it spent on tax prep, individual tax prep for us, which was significant. That alone paid for the whole process, which we figured the process to implement it was a 6-month project for us. We hired an outside group that assisted us in it, Ray and Associates, and they did a great job. Actually, Dustin Hostetler, who is their lean consultant, wrote an article. If you go back to Journal of Accountancy somewhere, gosh, I don't know, about a year ago, there's an article in there that he wrote on it. And it's really an interesting article. If it's something that you find interesting, take a look at that. I don't know that you need, I would recommend them, but I don't know that you need them to do this process. But I think it's value. We're now going to the next step. We're not just going to stick with just what we did in our one office. We're expanding it to all the tax in every office. And then beyond that, we're going to do this internally. We're also going to look at how this can benefit us in every aspect of our practice. Because I can sit here and think of the audit practice and know that there are redundancies where we can streamline what we're doing and be more effective at it. I can think of our client accounting service area, and the same thing is true there. So we're taking those next steps. So that investment we made up front with that consultant, we're going to get back additionally by us now having that knowledge to use it in other areas of our practice. I'm thrilled with it. I was telling them this morning, I said I'm even more thrilled with it today now that I know what our time savings was.